Let's see, hopefully we are live from the Discord room today, so that's kind of fun. Let's see. I think we are. Okay, cool. Okie dokes. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another terrific Tuesday. This is Amy Williams here with Skellig. And this week we're doing things a little bit different. We are streaming directly from the Skellig Discord channel. So hopefully you guys can hear me. And if you guys want to jump in, you're definitely more than welcome to. I think for now, since I'm the only person, I should be able to, there we go, make myself bigger. But yes, if anybody wants to, again, more than welcome. Okay, so what I think I wanted to do this week was start off with a little bit of redemption. Oh, hey Kristen, hello. A little bit of redemption from last week. So last week, just as a recap, we talked a bit about regular MQTT and the SparkPlug B specification. And we kind of wrapped it up by figuring out, well, how can we make this easier for humans to understand? So we were looking at a few different options. I started by showing like a Python script that I kind of wrote with the help of AI that just like de-encoded the Google protobufs. But then we also found, oh, hello, Paul. Hello. Then we also found that Walker Reynolds made an MQTT Explorer branch, like a beta version 4, that natively parsed the Google protobufs. And we started by installing that one. So what we're going to do today is start by finishing up that install. So let's add my screen share. You guys are seeing in real time if I'm good at, yeah, we can drag this over. Let's see, bear with me. All right, so we're gonna display my primary monitor, hopefully. Yep, okay. All right, wonderful. All right, and just as a recap, the way that we kind of found it last time was by using ChatGPT. Honestly, I love this thing. It's like Google, but on steroids. And it can do more than Google, but if you're just trying to get started, like for example, you're not familiar with Git, I really recommend it because it kind of helps you get through a lot of those errors that otherwise I know I would have given up on. So that's what we're going to start with. So we'll jump right on over to our repository. So where we were last time was we started by viewing the Git clone. So we got that into our folder here, MQTT Explorer, IIoT. Oh wait, we can make it bigger. Oh, I should probably be visible too. One sec. You guys are seeing in real time me learning filtering. Streaming, I mean. It's good stuff. Order. Move up. Ah, there I am. Okay. You can be smaller. Okay. Good enough. Okay. All right. So last time what we did was we started by doing the Git clone. So you can see that here in my file explorer. All we did with that was pull in all folders from the GitHub repo. The next thing that it wanted us to do was install Node.js. I remember we did do that successfully last time. Just as an FYI, it wanted me to download, I think it was like version 16, which wasn't the latest. But what's cool is you can download a package manager that actually can install older versions if that's what it needs. So then the next thing where I got stuck was we had to install Yarn. So what we're going to do is pick up right where we left off on that. So we're going to open up our command prompt. So you guys can see that. Good. And then we're just going to blatantly copy npm install gyarn. Let's see. Cool. Now we'll do yarn. And what's nice is this time it went really fast because I did actually get this installed offline so you guys didn't have to suffer through watching like 16 packages download. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is yarn build, which should build up the project file. And if all goes well, hopefully we'll be able to run this thing. All right. Let's see. I shall talk to people as well. Hello. Very cool. I still need to work on filling the void when watching things download. That's always fun. Although I think this should hopefully take not too much longer because I did have it up and running earlier. But let's see, we can read what the GPT says should happen once this finishes building. It says that this setup should allow you to monitor and visualize MQTT messages, especially those that follow the SparkPlug B spec. And we can refer to the GitHub page for any additional details. So what we can do is while this is, oh, there we go. Awesome. So that only took 65 seconds. All right, moment of truth, guys. We're going to hit yarn start, and we're going to see if this actually works. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Do something. Yay! Okay. So what it did was it opened up our MQTT Explorer. We're going to hit connect on the local host. And what we need to do now is generate some SparkPlug messages, so that way hopefully we can see this client in action. So to do that, we're just going to go ahead and grab our old MQTT project from last week and get that going. We are doing localhost today. We're opening up the designer. And I guess we could quiz people. What we're going to do is we will change, we'll try to send a set point over SparkPlug. So does anyone remember what messages we should hopefully be seeing? And if you guys don't, that's okay. I'll tell you my guess. Looks very better now. Oh, good. Hooray. That's wonderful. Let's move that over. Let's grab our MQTT project. So what I'm hoping to see in this broker here is first the node birth message followed by the device birth message. Then when we write to a set point, I'm hoping to see a D command message with the new set point value going. Then when that value changes, I'm expecting to see a D data get published back. So hopefully we'll see all four messages easily in this little broker. All right, so let's go. Hopefully we're sharing the right screen. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we're going to come over here. We're going to go to MQTT. And we need to make sure that our trial is not expired, but I bet you it is. So we'll fix that really quick. Localhost. Yep, it was indeed expired. Again, one of my favorite things about Ignition is that beautiful 2-hour time trial. You can really do a lot for free, which is incredible. All right, reset. I know, we're not secure on my local computer. All right, reset trial. Okay, good. Let's see here. Can you guys see this? Nope, I need to move this lower. Okay, good. All right, what we'll do is say a set point 79, enable read write, and we'll jump back over to our transmitter to make sure that's actually running. MQTT transmission, we'll click settings, we'll go to sets, servers maybe, yeah. Oh, interesting, not connected. That's what we like to see on live streams, not connected. Let's check really quick. Disconnect, localhost. I probably don't have my mosquito broker up. So, as a quick reminder, MQTT Explorer is just the client. The actual broker, though, has to be up for anybody to see any messages. So, to do that, we're going to go into our services and check to see if that mosquito broker is running. So we will drag this over. We will scroll all the way down to M, LMNOP. We'll just restart this. Okay. MQTT engine is probably what I was looking for, actually. MQTT engine. Okay, it says it's connected to my local host. Let's try this again. Connected. Let's change a value. We'll see if it goes. Perspective. We'll go to views. Click view. We'll click play. Let's see. If I change my tag to 80 over here. Let's see what it does. Interesting. Well, this is fun. So now we get to explore the joy of when things don't work. So what's really nice though is Ignition does have some good logs that we can look at to see why our messages might not have gone if there were any errors. Although I'm trying to think really quick if there's anything that I could have done that was funny. So what we can do really quick is just test if I publish to my test topic. Raw will say hello world. Let's just see if that goes through. Yep, it does. Okay. Interesting. I am on my local Ignition. That's the cool thing about Ignition as well. You can have it running in containers, so you can have like lots of different gateways and access them all from your same laptop. Especially if your company is cool, like mine is, and they let you host things in Azure. That's pretty neat. Let's see. Real-time debugging. Why is MQTT engine not populating anything? All right, so we're gonna go check really quick to see if the values are red. Because if they're red, oh, okay, I remember what it was. Okay, so what we did at the end of last week that I completely forgot about is we used one of the cool features of transmission where we can change what gets published to the broker, because that's one of the powerful things you can do with Ignition. You can say, hey, I don't want to publish like an entire tag group into my broker. You can get really specific and specify like a tag path. So what we did last week was we pointed that to be looking at specifically like this folder level 3. And what I just did was I just changed a bunch of tags that weren't under that tag path. So nothing happened, which is the correct thing to do. That was my own mistake. So let's go ahead and fix that one. So we're going to go back to our transmitter, go to settings, and I think it's, I always mix up if it's, I think it's transmitters. Yeah, let's click edit in here. And here is the root of my problem. I specified that tag path to be level 3, which makes sense why when I go back to MQTT, stuff outside of level 3, which is what I was changing, my set point, didn't change. So we're actually going to make this just the whole thing all over again. We're going to transmit our entire tag group with MQTT and see if that hopefully works. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just delete that. Oh, it wasn't even enabled. That's great. All right, and we'll enable it too while we're at it. We'll hit save. All right, take 2. Oh, thank goodness. All right, we're actually seeing messages, guys, so I'm not crazy. So what we see right off the bat is what I would hope to see, which is that end birth message and that debirth message. So what's really cool is it looks like Walker's MQTT Explorer client is totally working. I honestly love this. I think this is better than the Python script because like you get to see that tree view. So this is actually a really cool tool to have that for free kind of works right out of the box at parsing out all those protobufs for you. So that's pretty nifty. If you didn't want to use this though, there are tools that can do that for you as well. That could be like a fun thing we do maybe in the next couple weeks is HighByte actually. We do that in our virtual plant. We use HighByte to make crazy SparkPlug messages nice and easy to read and regular old vanilla. And HighByte, like Ignition, also has a wonderful unlimited 2-hour trial. So shout out HighByte. But yeah, So that's pretty cool. So that is indeed working. We can test if it does all the messages, I guess. So what we'll do is we'll go back to our engine. We will send a command over the SparkPlug, which we will do by drilling down here. We'll go edge, device, temperature. We'll make the set point 82. Oh, 82. If I don't have numlock clicked, there we go. All right. And there we go. And now we see what we expect, which is first it sends that device command, and then when the device's value changes, it publishes back out that D data. So we can expand this out. We can see that it, published to temperature set point. Wonderful. And then, oh, interesting, we don't have sequence numbers. That's okay. And then coming back, we have the value. Oh, no, we do have sequence. Okay. Cool. All right, so that's pretty fun. I think that's really nifty. I like that that's a free thing you can use. But what's also exciting is I was scrolling on LinkedIn the other day. Let me see if I can find it. And the infamous Arlen Nipper just posted 4 days ago that they are launching the Chariot MQTT server version 2.6, which includes the Chariot MQTT Client that is free. So that's kind of nifty. I am a big fan of the Chariot modules. So basically, if you're going to do anything with Ignition and SparkPlug, you're probably using the CirrusLink modules, and there's three. There's transmission, there's engine, and distributor, all made by the same company. So let's go ahead and check out how we install this one. So if we click on it, what it brings you to is the Chariot MQTT server documentation. So to actually use their free client, you do need to install the Chariot server, but it's actually pretty easy. So we're going to go through that right now from start to finish. All right, so it's cool is they actually give you a nice installation page. So I don't even think you need to use something like ChatGPT, which is kind of friendly. It's definitely, I'd say, easier than having to deal with GitHub. Okay, so I have a Windows laptop, so we're going to go ahead and start with a Windows installation. And let's see. So, prerequisites. Have a computer server running Windows. Check. And then download the required version of the Chariot MQTT server zip file. We'll do that again. So we jump over here and we can see that it specifies either Linux or Windows. We're going to go ahead and click Windows. Now I did already download this earlier in case my computer doesn't like having to do two things at once, which is streaming and downloading. We'll give it a go though. Okay, so once that gets downloaded, and it's like 75% of the way there, the next thing that you have to do is you do have to unzip the file. So we will unzip that into a new location. It says the one because I already downloaded it earlier. Don't look at all my downloads. All right, let's put this into a new folder. Right click, we'll do extract all, and we'll put it into a new spot. We'll put it in, I think I have a Lifestream folder. Yeah, here we go. We'll just put it in here where we put everything. Yes, we'll do that. Extract all. Oh boy. Well, 432 items. It's moving kind of quick. It was like 2 seconds for 10%. So, oh, it's speeding up even better. Awesome. So here we go. Downloading everything. Bum, bum, bum. 85%. All right, let's read what we do after that. So after we extract everything, it says we get to run from the command prompt, run the Chariot service install script in the directory where the files were unzipped. Okay, awesome. So this should be almost done. All right, so I put a lot of files in this folder at this point. All right. Okay, so it looks like it's here. So we're gonna change directory to here. So we're gonna go ahead, open up our command prompt. We're gonna stop the other thing. Hopefully, okay. CD means change directory. Okay, now we're in our Lifestream folder. Let's try this. So it says to start by just typing in install.bat. Let's give it a go. Okay. Now we have this beautiful blue bar at the top. That's a promising sign. Oh, that's kind of cute. I bet you these O's are like the % complete, but like for the console. That's adorable. Okay, cool. All right, so once that is done, the next thing is hopefully what we'll see in the console is it's going to say that it's running, and then we should be able to actually go and see it from the internet browser window. Let's see. If I remember earlier, this was a pretty fast install. Oh, goodness. All right, yes. Hopefully we're still here. Okay, installing Chariot, that's a good sign. Let's see. Now, I think what they say here is it can be accessed on port 8080. So basically that means you can just go to your web browser, type in localhost 8080, and it hopefully should be there. All right, let's see where this is at. All right, it is installed. That's a good sign. Beautiful, beautiful. The next thing we're going to do is start the service. So let's just type in service start. See if that one works out. I should have ran this as an administrator. I think that's why we're getting these pop-ups, but that's okay. Starting Chariot. Hopefully we were going to see that it is indeed running. Woohoo! All right, it says running, and we can confirm it as well, I think, by typing in status.bat. Yes, let's paste anyway. And it says it's running. Wonderful. Okay, so now let's go and check this UI out on port 8080. So what's nice is this isn't like on the internet, this is just locally here, 8080. We have the license agreement, that's cool. Scroll on down, click accept, and log in. Okay, cool. So this is really nice actually. Now you have their whole dashboard for the whole Chariot thing. What's great is you can just start the trial license, so we're definitely going to be doing that. And it is just like Ignition following suit. You have 2 hours to kind of like click and play around. Now, what I'm here for specifically is their free MQTT client. So I think we jump over here to MQTT, we click on it, and what we want to do is, oh, I think we need to connect to one. So we can make this guy. Nah, we won't make it big because then you can't see it. Okay, we'll make it smaller. All right. No MQTT clients available. I wonder if that's because I have this running on the other. So what's funny is I did install this earlier to test it. I might have this running already on my other spot. Okay, one sec. Let's go MQTT clients. Active MQTT clients is 0. Okay. Let me check real quick if my Mosquito broker is still good. Work localhost. Let's see if this guy connects. It does. Okay, cool. All right. So what do we want to do? We want to go to MQTT client. Yes. All right. So we're going to add a connection. Localhost port 1883. Yep, that is the case of my local Mosquito broker, so I'll call it that. My local broker has no security, so we're just going to leave the username and the password blank. We'll click add, and we'll click connect. Oh, not that. Connect. All right, connected. Now we're going to come over to the publish subscribe screen, if you guys can see that. Make this smaller. I can go more. Yeah. Okay. So now we are in the publish subscribe screen. What we're going to do is we're going to subscribe to everything. So I'm just going to put the wildcard in there. I'm going to hit subscribe. And hopefully if we come over to the topic tree viewer, we should see messages. So let's publish some messages. We're going to grab my other MQTT client and just see if this guy's working. So we're going to say hello world. Test topic, raw. We're going to say hello world, publish that. Okay. And over here, I do see it. So that's kind of fun. So let's see if this also does the SparkPlug messages. So what we're going to do is go back to Ignition. We're going to change our set point to 80. Again, we're hoping to see that D command followed by a D data message show up. So let's check out the Chariot. And it looks like we do have a SparkPlug B namespace pop up. Very nice. If I expand this out, look at that. It's totally Englishy. Oh, wait. No, it's not. So what it's showing first is plain UTF-8, which is what you expect in the regular MQTT Explorer client. This is the one not made by Walker over here, so I expect this to be a bunch of jumbled mess. Yep. Cool. But what's nice is this free client right out of the box has this drop-down menu here where we can click SparkPlug B. And if we pick that, now this whole thing is nice and Englishy. So that's pretty clever. And there's this download button. That's kind of fun. Ooh. I actually haven't clicked that before, so that was interesting. So if we click the download button, it brought me a text document. If I open up my text document, it actually gives me the entire payload. So that actually is pretty nifty. I do appreciate that. Awesome. Cool. Oh, and then down here you can actually see the entire payload. That's really nice. So basically you can just click on each message and yeah. Oh, it even, oh, look at that. That's the local mosquito broker from earlier. Beautiful. Hello. Glad this is happening. Oh, hello, Paul. Thank you. That's exciting. Yeah. But yeah, I think that kind of covers those two tools for SparkPlug, so that's kind of nice. I think the only other one that I think would be really worthwhile to show would be HighByte, because it also has a really nifty UNS client. I think that's probably, I didn't have time to fully get that one ready to go this week, but I'm thinking next week is when we will cover HighByte. So yeah, that kind of wraps up what I wanted to share. I guess, does anyone have any other questions or comments? This is kind of a short week for me because I was out of town all last weekend. It was really fun, so I didn't really get to do too much preparation for this week, so I figured it might be a little bit short. Let's see. Oh, actually, I forgot. There's one other thing that I did want to cover. So let me open up the form. We actually did get a new question come in today that I did want to answer, so give me 1 second. Let me get that open. Google Forms. Let's see. Responses. Oh yeah, I totally forgot I wanted to cover this. That's why we had 30 minutes left. Okay, cool. So, how do I want to present this? I guess I can get my good old PowerPoint up and put this as a large font question. Let's see. This is how high tech we are, guys. We use PowerPoint for our little thumbnails, but hey, if it works. Although if that's like a company secret, we'll just clip that out. But for now, we'll do plain text. Delete. Yep. Okay, so one of the questions that we got from this week was basically bioreactor example. Somebody asked, how can you provide an example of how MQTT with SparkPlug and Ignition can work together in a process development lab for bioreactor control. Specifically, how would these tools interact to streamline data collection, real-time parameter adjustments, example, pH, temperature, agitation? That is an excellent question, and I guess I would say I'd really recommend that you check out the first YouTube series that I did about like Industry 4.0 for life sciences, because the last episode of that, part 5, was pretty much like a real-time working example of a bioreactor being run with like code assist, HighByte, Ignition on a Groove Epic, and we kind of simulated doing some like sampling during a batch. So I guess if I was to answer that question, I can recap and say, when you're using SparkPlug specifically for your plant floor, typically you're using SparkPlug to do some kind of control. So if it's the case that you have a bioreactor and it's hooked up to Ignition, and maybe you're like, hey, I want to send some recipe set points to it, and there's actually a lot of different ways you could do it, right? But maybe one use case is you're like, well, I want to send down just all of these set points, kind of like how we just showed 2 minutes ago, through MQTT. Well, you could do that through SparkPlug because Ignition first uses SparkPlug, and second, you're actually going to know for a fact if that bioreactor is indeed online, and then through Ignition's like UI of whatever HMI you make, if it hasn't like gone red or stale, you will know, or you didn't get an alarm, you will know that those parameters actually made it there. But what's also interesting though is I feel like a lot of like pharma companies, especially life sciences, kind of aren't starting off from the plant floor with everything being in Ignition and being open. So I really wish I had a bit more detail on that question of, is this for like a greenfield site or is this for a legacy site? Because that kind of changes what your approach might be. If it's a legacy site and you already have a lot of your control being covered, well, then you kind of have to figure out what is it that you're trying to achieve with that bioreactor. Is it that you're trying to do control, or is it mostly you're trying to get data out of there with a little bit of control? Like there's a lot of different nuances to what drives what kind of tool you want to use, what kind of software you want to use. But based on what this question was, which was, okay, you have a bioreactor and you want to do stuff with MQTT SparkPlug Ignition, what would you do? Well, I'm going to assume that this bioreactor probably already has some kind of PLC control on it. Maybe it's like a single use, maybe it's a whole package, like you bought it from an OEM. Okay, great. What I would do personally is I think it'd be great to get some kind of edge device out there that's going to be your gateway. And so basically your bioreactor, hopefully it supports OPC UA. You can easily map that into your Ignition edge device, and then on there, depending if you have an HMI set up yet, if you don't, I'd recommend building your HMI in Ignition because it's amazing and that can scale across all your other different units. Or even if it's the case that you're like, no, I want to use my local HMI, fine, so be it, right? At least use Ignition to help model all that data into UDTs. And then again, with those modules, you can get that data sent out over MQTT into your broker, where then your master Ignition system, which is probably going to be your SCADA, so to speak, can then communicate and control that bioreactor through SparkPlug. What's really nice too is we talk about this a lot at Skellig, is usually when you're running a bioreactor, you do have to take samples. And where do you take those samples? Well, you take those samples and you bring them to a lab and they have more equipment and they're running tests on that. Normally, those use super duper fancy like LIMS systems that are just kind of locked down, and you never really get to easily compare those two sets of data, even though they're very important. And when I was on site, I had tons of people who would be asking me to pull reports from that DCS system to compare against that LIMS system data. So what's great is if you're using MQTT, those two different spaces can be publishing their information to that same central broker to build that full context. And so now people aren't going to be wasting time just pulling reports to see how your batch run is doing. They can actually, hopefully with their UNS, see all that like immediately, very intuitively, and kind of abstract away the fact that you had all of these different equipments that all probably used different protocols, honestly. So that's pretty fun. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions? We come over here. We'll be fired by Walker or Amazon for our PowerPoint use. Yeah, probably. All right, Bonnie, you're going to have to edit that out. That cannot go out onto the internet. We're just going to have to scrub that one. Cool. Let's see. I guess nah, we'll leave it at that. Okay. Well, I guess if that wraps up all of our questions, we might just call it for today. Keep it short and sweet, I'd say. And then what we're going to do next week is get into HighByte, because HighByte is just so much fun. I can talk about that for an hour nonstop, no problem. So yeah, I guess last call, no questions. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you guys all next Tuesday. All right, bye-bye. End stream.